Hi, my name's Kim. I'm an introvert who travels the world whilst being on a tight budget. Whilst the world slowly reopens, there are a few additional things that we need to think about when we're travelling now. I know that there's quite a lot of controversy going on at the moment whether people should be travelling abroad. A lot of people calling other people selfish for going abroad. Just to sort of clear the air a little bit, I don't have any plans to travel abroad until November. But loads of people travel abroad for loads of different reasons, from work to mental health, visiting family and friends. So if you do intend on traveling abroad, I think it's really important to be prepared. So what things do you need to think about now that you didn't necessarily have to think about in the past when you're traveling? From your hotel to your travel insurance, what things do you need to check out now before you travel if you are going to be traveling during the pandemic? Let me show you. FCO Guidance and Quarantine. There are a few things that you'll need to check out before you start booking flights again. All this information can be found on the FCO website, but this information is the public health restrictions on the country that you're traveling to and what health restrictions there are in the country when you're coming back. So, do you need to go into quarantine when you arrive at your destination or when you come home again? All this information you need to check out before you book your flights. Even though there's a substantial list of countries that we can travel to, from the UK at least, that we can travel freely between without needing to go into quarantine, there are some countries that you will need to quarantine when you get there, or you may need to quarantine when you come back from that destination. And there are also countries that the FCO advises against all but essential travel. Some countries you need to do a COVID-19 test when you arrive, some you'll need to go into quarantine, and some you'll need to supply a medical certificate to say that you're COVID-19 free. So all this you need to bear in mind when you're booking a flight, and any additional time off work you may need to book along with your travels too. Travel insurance. If you're an avid viewer of the Awkwardly Kim Travel, you know that I am vocally passionate about travel insurance, and I always say if you can't afford travel insurance, you cannot afford to travel. But at the moment, even if you have travel insurance, it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll cover you for COVID-19. If you travel to a country that the FCO advises against all but essential travel, you might not be covered at all with your travel insurance. If you've already bought travel insurance and the FCO does change its guidance, it's worth giving your travel insurance a call or an email to see what is exactly covered and if you're still covered to travel to that country. Comprehensive travel insurance is a must, especially now when you're traveling. Make sure that your travel insurance does cover you for disruption and any costs associated with delays. So if you do end up going into quarantine, you know that your travel insurance is going to cover you. So basically, if you're unsure that your travel insurance policy is going to cover you for travel at the moment, give your travel policy provider a ring just to double check. You're better to be safe than sorry. Whilst traveling. Before you leave on your travels, even though everything's booked, it's always good to double check that your airline, your travel provider, your accommodation, your transfers, everything is still up and running. All the companies are still open and you're good to go. Whilst traveling through the airport and on the airplane, you'll be expected to wear a face mask or face covering. The only time you'll be able to remove these is if you're asked to do so by police, border control or security. It's recommended that you bring your own face mask with you and spare as well. Also bring a little bag that you can store your used face masks in. Also bring hand sanitizer with you. If you're going to be travelling through security with your hand sanitizer though, make sure that it's no bigger than 100 ml. If you do want to have more hand sanitizer, the best advice that I can give is to see if you can get some in the departure gate or the departure lounge. There may be shops there that you can buy bigger bottles, but you won't be able to take a bigger bottle through security, so there's no point even trying. That being said, don't travel with no hand sanitizer expecting to pick some up at the airport. You're better to be safe than sorry, and at least take a little one with you. In case of an emergency. Due to the unprecedented scale of disruption that has occurred due to the pandemic, it's always good to have emergency structures in place just in case something does happen. It's always been important to have sort of a backup plan just in case, but Now more than any time, it's been even more so important to make sure that you have something in place. Make sure that you have additional money easily accessible just in case there is an emergency or you're in a country that has a swift lockdown and you need to get out quickly. Be prepared for the worst case scenario. If you do get sick when you're abroad, you may need to basically stay where you are. So you'll need enough money to cover you for additional accommodation. Also, you may be reliant on the local healthcare. So you need to be confident that you're happy to rely on the local healthcare system of where you're staying, and also you've got enough money to pay for the additional care that you may need if you do end up getting sick. Make sure that you have enough additional medication to cover you for an extra amount of time if you do end up having to stay where you are. Also, make sure that you have additional support in place for any family members or dependents who rely on you, or any pets. Make sure that there's something in place to make sure that they're covered if you do end up getting delayed coming home. I hope this video reminds you how important it is to be prepared for when we start traveling the world again. We are going to be traveling into a much different world now, and it's really important to have these structures in place that if in case something does happen, we know that we're covered. But as long as we make sure that we're savvy with our cleanliness, our social distancing, and making sure that we're wearing a mask, then hopefully we can start traveling slowly abroad again. Do you have any plans on traveling abroad, or have any of your travel plans been impacted by COVID-19? Let me know in the description down below. I've had quite a few travel plans that have been disrupted, but what I've decided to do for at least this little bit of period before I'm going to be going abroad in November is to explore more of the country that I live in a little bit more. So seeing more of Wales and England, and more of the UK. As I don't have any flights booked, and as I don't feel as if I've explored a lot of the UK, I think that this is the time we can take to explore more of our local area and really appreciate where we live. I release short form IGTVs every Wednesday over on Instagram, so follow me at Awkwardly Kim Travel. I'm also changing my schedule a little bit, so every Monday and Friday at 7 PM we'll be releasing videos on this channel. Usually I live stream every Monday and Friday at 6 PM, but at the moment we're going to be shifting everything to a Wednesday. So Monday, Friday, 7 PM, you'll be getting a new video from me, and every Wednesday we'll be doing our live stream. So make sure that you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you are notified every time that I do live stream or I upload a video. If you are planning on traveling really soon and you want to see what the experience may be like, I'll put that video up here for you. And if you want to know what I think are the best travel apps, I'll put that video down here for you. But I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you again. Enjoy your life. Ta-da!